Hey guys, Casual Crono here. I was going through my superboss records, and I really wish there was just a list in-game showing which ones I've defeated and which ones I haven't. However, I noticed one of the ones I have not beaten is the warped Deus Cras hard. So I hope to do that in this fight. So according to the wiki, the warped Deus Cras hard has these entanglements, and it has 5 of them. Basically, once I wipe out one of its health bars, it uses one up, and I guess it cycles through what it's weak to, what it resists, what it absorbs, and so forth. It's neutral to 3 elements any given time. It absorbs 1 element. It's weak to 1 element, and it's just a pain. So, since it's all circling around elements, I thought I would bring in Xianhua, who is a typeless type of character. He has a few other mechanics as well. When the AF gauge is full, everyone, himself, my team, everybody, loses magic resistance and gains barrier piercing. When the AF gauge is empty, my party status resistances are decreased and the stats of the enemy is increased. So basically, I don't want the AF gauge to become empty, though I just beat the boss with this team a moment ago, and during the fight I did notice the gauge was completely empty, so at some point that aura triggered, but it didn't really matter with this team. The final mechanic is that if you beat him during an AF burst, he restores all of his entanglements and you basically start the fight over. So you can't kill him basically in an AF burst, so you have to just wheedle him down manually. So this is my Xianhua Magic Null team. Xianhua is going to spend the first turn doing Trinity. We're going to get a magic zone going, Pain. And in her case, I can do several things. I think, if I remember right, on the first turn, I went ahead and just did Divine Vessel. Actually, I might have done Divine Utterance to get the buff. Well, let's just Divine Vessel. The boss himself seems to have single target attacks, and he's pretty quick. So basically, each turn, he killed someone. However, we have Iphi, who revives people. So really, the main challenge of this fight was to keep track of the blood contracts. And whichever turn all the blood contracts were used up, the very next turn, I needed to put down the Shade Zone and put blood contracts on everyone again. As long as I kept that up, it didn't really matter that one person was dying every turn. The battle was pretty straightforward. So we're going to go ahead and do the regen, buff, attack, and please. So right now, 1 blood contract is down. Xianhua is strong enough to wipe through this boss. So now the boss is down 1 entanglement, 4 to go.
How annoying.
We're going to pray. We're going to attack again. We'll go ahead and Rosa Liliac. Actually, let's go ahead and Icrophilia and kind of try and keep away from the 0 gauge. We'll go ahead and get a mana regen started.
There you go. How embarrassing. How annoying.
Alright, 2 entanglements are gone. Still only down 1 blood contract. Attack. Attack. And we are no longer in a magic zone, so we will deploy magic zone. Alright, there goes the second blood contract. If you're unfamiliar with Iphi, the character to the right that has the blood contract is the one that's always targeted first. That's why Yuna was defeated first, followed by Xianhua. So now his attacks are going to turn to Mayunfa. So we're going to go ahead and buff Rosa Liliac, attack, and we'll just do please again.
You're a mistake.
Alright, there goes another entanglement. Mayunfa surprisingly survived that, which means she still has her blood contract. If you're ever unsure, you can go to status, scroll down. Oh yeah, risk taker. That's the blood contract. So as long as this is lit up, I was looking for the words blood contract, not lunatic risk taker. As long as this is lit up, you still have a blood contract. So casting Shade Zone is worthless. You can't cast it until all of the blood contracts have been used up. So, that said, at some point you might have the Stellar Burst available. If you do, great. You can use it to either rebuff, you can use it as an attack, whatever you want to do. We'll go ahead and just do that.
Enlightenment is the key to unwavering truth.
Basically kind of like a free turn. We'll go ahead and redo the regen, redo that, attack, and are we praying? We are not praying. Not that I'm sure if it might matter. I've been doing the preemptive stuff because basically she's targeted and she's the next to get beat. Though the revival, she still uses her turn.
Here you go. How embarrassing. You're a mistake.
Alright, there goes another life, or another entanglement, if you will.
How annoying.
Right down here, the little blue circles with the number, that's the entanglements. You'll see he has one left. So we're going to buff, we are going to buff, we are going to... let's go ahead and Trinity, and please. It's a lot of buffs. I will admit, my last fight, a character was literally dying pretty much every turn, so about every 3-ish turns I'd have to cast Shade Zone. I'm guessing because this time I did not let the AF gauge get to 0, maybe this fight's a little easier as a result. Alright, let's redo those. We just prayed. We still praying? No, we took damage. How's her spoiling? That's the please effect. Don't think I see any spoiling on her. It's usually another orange circle. Nope. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just do a please. Alright, so attack, and please, and everything, so...
Here you go. A cup of coffee?
Alright, Alright, one more hit from Xianhua should knock out the next one. So she will attack, of course. We'll go ahead and we'll Divine Vessel. Make sure that buff stays up. We'll go ahead and pray this time.
Pathetic.
Alright, there goes the last of the entangles. Now, you might be tempted at this point if you have an AF bar going. You're like, oh, okay, I can burst him down. Don't do it. If the wiki is correct, if you kill him during a burst, he will restack all 5 entangles. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Debuff, heal. Ooh, he's still in a magic zone. Fortunately, he doesn't break zones, so unless you are working with an awakened zone all the time, which we could technically awaken if we really wanted to. Yeah, why don't we? She still has spoiling, so yeah, let's just go ahead and pray.
Here you go. A cup of coffee?
And there we go. Slow and steady seems to work for this boss, if you have Xianhua and an excellent support team. So let's look at that team. And let's go ahead and collect our stones for beating that guy. Yay, 50 stones. Alright. So the main damage dealer was Xianhua. She does have the Elpis Rod, Dryad's Ring. I have a 50 int and a 50% speed reduction badge. That's to kind of ensure that she attacks last, which means all the other characters have time to do their buffs. Otherwise, she just has the usual Power of Pains, Bullseye, Rose with Thorns, and Last Stand Ore, which that particular ore only takes effect if there's more than one enemy. So really, you could put on anything else and it'd probably be more helpful in that fight. While she is Stellar Awakened, her entire board is not. She only has 55 Shadow, so she could have a lot more health and 10 more stats. And you'll notice I did not use her Tesseract skill, even though it was equipped. So, in fact, usually I don't have it at all. I usually have Link as my third one. So I don't know if she really needs to be Stellar Awakened for this fight. It might take a little longer if you, since she doesn't have as much damage, less intellect and everything. But as you could see, slow and steady seemed to be the way to handle this fight. The other 3 characters, Iphi is kind of a necessity with her blood contracts and her ability to revive people. You saw me using Rosa Liliac, which reduces the enemy's power, intellect, and speed. Nocturnal Procession, which was used every 3 turns or so to improve party's intellect. That would improve Xianhua, of course. And I had her Shade Zone equipped when necessary. If all 3 other people had been knocked out, then you would cast Walpurgisnacht. It's preemptive, which means it will definitely go before the boss, and it puts the blood contract back on everyone, and he will resume attacking the character to the furthest right. So those 2 characters are kind of required for the fight. The other 2, I'm not really sure how important it is to have these specific 2 characters. What I brought to the table, please, improves weapon type damage for all party members, increases damage against weak points, neither of which I think really mattered much to Xianhua, but it did stack spoiling on her, which improves magic damage based on MP value. So, please was a buff. I'll do my best was a prayer. It improves intellect and speed and power, of course, gains a shield, based on the user's health, and if she was not taking damage, which she was every turn because of the curse anyway, she would continue to pray. As you saw, the prayer would last for that one turn, and then usually she would stop praying. So again, I'm not sure how important it is to have my Unfo, because this was basically a one-turn buff. Her main thing was Charity Blend, which deploys Magic Zone. So I always had Magic Zone ready if I needed it. Impel or someone free might actually work pretty well there. Yuna was the other supporting character, equipped as such. And her skills, Iridescent Blessing, gave the team a mana regen. That was how I kept my mana going, so that was definitely helpful. She also improved the party's health with her Inspired stacks. It improves up to 1500 extra, which might have been one of the reasons why my Unfo was surviving there at the end. I used Divine Utterance, which also improved intellect, and it also reduces the enemy's power and intellect and stacks. So I was able to weaken the enemy after 3 stacks of Burn Away. And then Divine Vessel. It stacks Burn Away, it stacks Inspired, so it does the effects of the other 2, and it attacks as well. Not that she was doing that much damage. So really, she was there to weaken the enemy and buff the team and provide MP regen. Since it is a longer fight, you definitely want to have some source of MP regen. So that was the main team. Grasta holders had Palm. The Enhance if max HP staff effects never really took effect because the Spiral Curse was always constantly hurting my team. So the Enhance at low HP staff and Power Void were really the only 2 that were in effect. And Helena, Power of Awakening, I didn't have the Magic Zone awakened that much, so that one wasn't really in effect either. Soundbody Synth Human gave Xianhua an extra 300 health and 50 MP. And Resonant Power Shadow was for every Shadow ally, damage increases. And in the front line, Xianhua is Shadow, and Iphi is Shadow. So it wasn't getting the full effect of the Grasta, but it was getting some of the effect. Sidekicks, my usual, Tetra and Guns. Had the AF bar gone all the way empty, his aura would have kicked in and the team stats would have improved by 20%. It would have made the boss stronger too, but, you know. So that was the team, that was the strategy. Xianhua pretty much required because she's null type attacker, and Iphi pretty much required for the blood contracts. The other 2 you might be able to get away with swapping out some other characters. So there you go, there was the Warped Deus Cras hard. He is a high tier 11 super boss, and one that I had not beaten until tonight. Not really for lack of trying, I just kind of was slacking. I've been enjoying the mythos and everything going on. So anyway, hope this video helps. Casual Crono, signing out.